Hello everyone, better late than never. I thought I would do a video today of all the books that I read in May 2017. Now I do have some lists, so forgive me for looking down, but I'm afraid I'll forget. So bear with me here. I thought I would start with the two books that I do not have physically in my possession. They're either library books, or I read them on my Kindle, or I listened to them in my car. So these are the two books that I read in May that I don't actually have here. The first one is called Far Outside the Ordinary by Prissy Elrod. It was a memoir, biography type book of a woman whose husband had brain cancer, and it was her story of that whole journey of going through it with him. It was very sad in the beginning, but you see how she comes out of it, and it was very, very well written, very good. I really enjoyed that book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. My second book that I read that I don't have with me is Stories I Only Tell My Friends by Rob Lowe. Usually I'm very disappointed in celebrity, biographies or books that are written by celebrities, but I really liked this one, I must say. I've always had a crush on Rob Lowe since when he was in The Outsiders. Do you all remember that movie? Maybe I'm showing my age if you don't know that movie. The Outsiders is when I first witnessed Rob Lowe, and then of course St. Elmo's Fire and About Last Night. I think those were the two other favorites of mine that he was in. But anyways, I've always had a crush on him. I thought he's very good looking. It's obvious that he is. So I thought I'd read his biography, and I really enjoyed it. Usually when you read celebrity books like that, they always leave out the good stuff. They just write about the stuff that we already, as fans or as the public, know. But he kind of did share some stories that were very heartwarming, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 stars as well. Okay, then we have Jennifer Niven's Holding Up the Universe. This is a young adult book, the second one that I read by this author. This was about a girl, I can't think of her name. Oh my god. Libby and Jack. It's a couple in high school. She's a very obese young lady. She actually had to be removed out of her house by a crane. Very sad. Anyways, she meets this boy Jack, who's a very popular, well-known boy in high school. And it's about their story of how they had to go to like detention or something after school for behaving badly. So they became friends, and eventually, it grows into something more. But it was a very good book. I must say, I did like All the Bright Places better than this one. It was her first one that I read by this author. But I did enjoy this. This was a good book. I believe I gave this a 4 as well. I should have my Goodreads open, but I don't remember. But I'm just going off the cuff here, so I think that's 4 stars. Then I read If You Only Knew by Kristan Higgins. This was the read for May with the hashtag on the BookTube shelf group here on YouTube. There's a bunch of gals on there that they have a little group, and they read a book every month, so I joined them with this book. This is about 2 sisters going through the struggles of life, of divorce and marriage and children and all that comes with that. It was a women's fiction book, which I really enjoyed. I gave this a 4 stars as well. Then I read, oops, I didn't take the sticker off. I hate it when there's stickers on the books. Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I love Elizabeth Gilbert. Eat, Pray, Love was my favorite book, I think, of 2007, if I remember correctly. I love her. I just think she's an amazing writer. I can relate to her. I learn a lot from her. I just love her. This was a good book about being creative, creative living beyond your fears. She has a lot to say in this book, and I highly recommend it. I gave this book a 4 stars. Then I read Sarah Crossan 1. It's another young adult book that I read this month, or actually last month in May. And I liked it, but I think I was getting sick of young adult. So it's probably not a fair rating. I rated it a 3. Probably it should be a 4. But I just think I was getting a little burnt out by the young adult books. This is the first year that I've ever read young adult, and I thought I was going to really take off with the genre. And I do enjoy it, but far, you know, a few in between, a little bit more literary and maybe a little bit more historical fiction in there. This was about two girls. They're twins. They're joined twins, and their struggles and their relationship as time goes on. I think they're 16 in this book, so they've been attached since they were born for 16 years, and then they run into some obstacles that they have to decide whether to separate them and or face the consequences. And it was a really good book. I think I'm going to give it a 4. I should give this book a 4, because it really was a good book. I just think I was getting sick of the young adult genre. Good book. All right, let's see, where are we at? Now, book club for May, we read The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. Cute book. If you like books about books or bookstores, this is the book for you, because there's a lot of reference to a lot of old books, or books that you know that you might want to. I remember jotting down some books that they mention in here that I want to read. So, really cute book about a man who's a widower and he's miserable. And well, I don't want to do any spoilers, so I don't want to go into it. Is there a... Okay, I'm going to read the back to you. A.J. Fikry's life, you probably already read this. This is an old book, but I'll read it anyways. A.J. Fikry's life is not at all what he expected it to be. He lives alone, his bookstore is experiencing the worst sales in its history, and now his prized possession, a rare collection of Poe poems, has been stolen. But when a mysterious package appears at the bookstore, its unexpected arrival gives Fikry the chance to make his life over and see everything anew. It was really cute. I gave this book a 4.5 stars, I believe, on Goodreads. 4.5 stars. I didn't have one 5-star rating this month. And last but not least, I read this with Krista's group on Goodreads. Books and Jams, I believe, is the group. The Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly. Loved this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was about World War II, one of my favorite topics. There's 3 women. One is German. She's a doctor that performs these horrific surgeries on some of the women prisoners in, oh, where are they? What's the camp called? They were considered rabbits. They called the women rabbits. They did these experimental surgeries on these women from the Holocaust. It was horrific. Anyways, she's the one lady. Her name is Herta, right? I think her name is Herta. Then we have Kasia, who is in the concentration camps. And then there's Caroline, who's a New York socialite, who, at the, towards the end of the book, that's when they all come together and they meet, and it's a really good book. I really enjoyed it. If you like historical fiction, if you like World War II books, you definitely have to read this. And I'm late to the game. I think this was last year. This came out last year, and I've been wanting to read it for a long time, so I finally read it with the girls, with Krista and the girls from Books and Jams. So that's it. I think that's it I have for May, right? Well, I have a good list to start for June for you in my next video, so we'll see how that goes. I hope you are all well. I hope you're all reading some good books. If you have read any of these books, please leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on them, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.